All right, y'all. We in the building, man. We in the building, man. This shit is crazy right here. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. It's a whole lot of other shit going on out here that ain't being brought up, bro. Like, get to the crimes, man. You can't convict no nigga on being freaky. They got to get to the crimes. I don't know if they saving the best for last or what they doing, but we ain't got time for all of that. We about to get to the crimes. Let's get to the crimes. I've been following this case before it was a case. You get where I'm coming from? I've been following this case before it was even a case. So let's get to it.
When I was there, like,
will receive a copyright.
Absolutely. So let's start at the beginning. How did you first meet Diddy? How did you get connected with Diddy? And how old were you when you met him?
in the 2000, I was basically 10, 11 was when I lost my virginity. I met him sixth grade that summer or whatever, and I remember Pierre Harvey coming by because then I started writing music for P Diddy, and P Diddy liked the music, so but Pierre Harvey was coming by, and at first he was nice and he was paying me too. But I remember one time he came in, like, he got snatched a book out my hand and he didn't pay me my money. And then he came back another time and he had a big phone. And like back then the cell phone was like real big and thick. He had a big thick ass cell phone, and he was telling me that P Diddy wanted to meet me or whatever. He wanted me to come to his flavor camp for 48 hours. So he told me to ask my grandmother, could I go? I asked my grandmother, she said no. And at the time, my mother was on drugs, and I was all like, I was mad at her because I'm like, I want to be famous, I want to be rich or whatever. I want to be famous. He gonna make me a singer, and we gonna be rich. He's saying that I got potential to be like the next Michael Jackson. Is basically what the nigga was telling me, and she said no. So when he called on the phone, I was like, she said no, I gotta ask my mama. She was being funny, like, ask your mama. But she knew my mama wasn't around. So I told them that, and they was like, we'll take you go find your mom. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah. So when they came back, I was expecting P Diddy to be outside, but P Diddy wasn't outside. Pierre Harvey was outside, and he picked me up. When I got to the car, he was all like, he put P Diddy on the phone because I was like skeptical about getting in the car. So he had to call P Diddy for me to hear his voice. And once I heard his voice, I got in the car. And then when I got in the car, I remember him like, eat the candy, eat the jelly beans. I think I had on pink that day. Pink, like some pink sweats and like a shirt. And I had bobos in my head. And he was like, eat the candy, eat the candy. And some said don't eat the candy, but then he was like being real persistent. Eat the candy, try it. These are new jelly beans. We just invented these with jelly beans. And when I ate the jelly bean, I was like, this is nasty. And I was spitting it out. And as I spit it out, I was like, I want to get out the car. And he slammed the door, and then he got in the car. And I remember being out of there. And I remember them putting me on the jet and them saying, damn, this little heavy. I remember him being like, wake up. I remember waking up. I remember my ear popping, and I remember my stomach dropping on the airplane.
So it was a private jet that they put you on?
Mm-hmm. It was just us. I'm calling it airplane. That's what I called it back then, but it was a jet. I remember getting there to the studio. I'm out of there asleep on the couch. I remember Asian man or Chinese man being there, and he was all like, you did this to my son. I'm going to the police. Like, you did this to my son. He's in the hospital. And he was all like, if I was you, I wouldn't say nothing or whatever. You're going to end up dead. And like, the man looked terrified when he said that. You know, I don't give a fuck about you going to the police. And I'm going in and out. I remember looking on the pool table, and there was a lady getting on the table. I thought she was Mexican, but she was the Arabian lady that was Miss Gloria Alvarez. I saw her getting on the table, but I was like I was conscious, but I was coherent, but I couldn't move. And then I remember it being like, I'm thirsty. I remember him giving me something to drink, and I remember it tasting nasty, and him laughing, and him doing his little dance, talking about "Welcome to the flavor camp" in my face or whatever. And then I remember coming to, and he was telling me, asking me if I smoke, if I drink, and I told him no, and he was telling me basically I can't turn down anything that he offers me. I have to, if he offer it to me, I have to do it. I remember him giving me a tour of the place and him giving me the camera. I remember him like trying to make me feel comfortable, and he was like complimenting, saying, "Oh, she got a nice." I felt so uncomfortable. He was like, "Don't she got a nice body? Her ass is nice." I remember that. I remember him telling me to get the camera and to take pictures.
What did he have you taking pictures of, or
Like
of yourself?
studio, he took pictures of me, and like when I took a picture and I'm like in front of the thing, I'm taking a picture like this, and I took a picture of the bed. That was me. I just took a picture of the bed. He like, go walk around. I put my phone on do not disturb. He was like, go walk around, and he told me to take pictures. And I remember taking pictures of the bed, like take pictures or whatever. And I remember taking a picture of the bedroom. I took a picture in the studio, and he was like recording me. And I also I'm just going in and out, in and out. I don't know, he offered me something else and I passed out, but then I remember being in that room with him, and he was all like being extra touchy with me. And I was like, yeah. I started feeling like he was a creep, but I was still like going along with it. And he was like, what kind of you like? Like, he was asking me about me being molested. And I was honest with him, and I told him about stuff, because he was like, the stuff that I was writing, I had to be like, they was asking me, have I ever been molested? Have I ever had sex? And I was like, yeah, knowing I was a virgin. I've been molested, but I never been penetrated. He asked me what kind of cocks I like, and I was like, real big cocks. I like big cocks, real big cocks. And he sent Roger Bonds to go buy a pink dildo. And I remember waking up, looking in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I see P. Diddy behind me. And I know when I was in the room, he took my virginity on that bed. And I remember screaming and hurting, but I had to take that. I had to take it. But then after that, I remember I just woke up again. I'm in the bathroom, bent over the sink. And I'm yelling, but I guess I'm not making noise. I don't know. But I'm yelling, it hurt. Please stop. I'm weak. I can't move. And he's giving me or whatever. He turned me around, kissed me in my mouth, and was like, I'm not gonna hurt you, but he was hurting me. And he turned me back over, and when he stuck it in my, he told me pinch his nipples and all type of crazy shit. He kissed me in my mouth, and he turned me back over, and I passed out again when he stuck it in my ass, and the pain stopped, and then I was relieved, and then I felt the pain again, and when I woke up, it was Pierre Harvey behind me, and he stuck it in my ass, and I remember looking and yelling, "No, stop! No, stop!" And the Jewish guy was behind Pierre, like on the side. It was like in his bathroom at that studio. It was like a restroom stall in there. I remember, and then after he finished, I remember P. Diddy I was asking the Jewish guy to help me, because I know he just had a baby, and I was looking at him for help. And he was all like, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. And he was like, if you don't fuck her, I'm going to fuck you. So the dude got behind me, and his stuff was soft. But he was like acting like he was doing it with me. And then like I wasn't yelling, I wasn't screaming like I was. So then Diddy kind of pushed him back. But Diddy had told that man if he didn't do it to me, he was going to kill him. That man, hurry up, got naked. And I remember Diddy pushing him out the way. And Pierre pushed him out the way. I remember Pierre smoking crack out of like a crack pipe. I don't know if it was crack. I don't know what the was in it, but a crack pipe is where it's circle. It's not. It's he was smoking out of that, and I remember him making me give him head, and like I was using my teeth and everything. He slapped me upside my head, and he was all like, "Don't use your teeth," but I couldn't breathe, and like he was just gagging me with his dick. It was just so like their dicks were just so big. I remember after that, it was like a break in between, but then I remember looking to my left, and P Diddy's in the doorway with like one of them old school cameras, and he's sitting there jacking off and sitting in a chair in the doorway of the restroom. I remember passing out, waking back up, being over the sink, and this nigga sticking a champagne bottle in. I was like yelling at that point. I know I was yelling at the top of my lungs, and they just had me so hurt, and they left me in their restroom, and I don't know how long I was in that restroom, but my legs and stuff wouldn't work, and some white guy came and got me out the restroom.
So it was like a security guard or somebody that picked you up, or
This white guy, when he smiled, he has a smile like Garfield. He picked me up, and I was like, I just want to go home. And he was like, I'm gonna take you home. I got you. I'm gonna take you home. So they put me back on the jet, and I wake up. I'm with some other white girls, like we all teenagers. They were a little bit older than me. I wake up with them, and like at first it wasn't like it was fun, but then they disappeared from me, and it was me by myself. And I remember being drugged the whole time, and I remember them drugging me so much, and they wanted me to feel the pain, and they had my hand over the stove. I remember waking up screaming. This was a fat white guy. He kind of hunchback, got a pointy nose. This fat white guy, he was just passing me to different white men, and to a point they all started looking the same to me. God say, I'm trying to take my time, Lord.
take your time. It's tough. I know it's tough, Mom. I know it's hard. Take some breaths.
Okay, it's just the memory that I think it's the memory, and it's like every time I think about it, it's like I relive it, and I'm there and I see it. My body can't move, but I'm there, and I don't know what days it was. I don't know the time, like, you know what I'm saying? I just know it was daylight, or I know if it was hot. I remember them having me in the summertime, and I remember being there in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was there, like, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I can't describe how horrible it was. After that happened, it's like it goes in and out. I remember trying to escape. I remember the brown children. I remember being locked in the cage with these brown kids. I don't know what race they were, but I know they looked at black, but they didn't speak English.
How many kids would you say was in there with you?
Had to be like 30 or 50 kids, but it kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they were hunting these babies. It got like, it was like until I noticed it, I was just in the cage. But before they like took me out the cage and put me back in the cage, they had me these babies with them. I remember him shooting his baby. The baby had to be no more than 5 or 6. This boy, he hunts me in my dream, and he is the age he probably would have been now, but he hunts me in my dreams. Like when I have out of body experience, and like it's like he's chasing me. I remember he shot that baby, and I was like, I'm not gonna stop him. And he pop, pick up the knife. So I picked up, and I was just going like this. And the baby up had to be no more than 5 or 6, to be honest. He had me bathing them, feeding them, washing them off and bathing them, feeding them. I remember me being in the cage. I kept letting them out the cage. I remember I kept opening the cage, letting them out. And like they used to have to get them and run after them, get them. I remember them being in there and we was saying our names and I was like Lamisha and one said her name and then she was talking in her language and I ain't hear nothing but she was like fight. So every time we got out the cage it was like we all like when it was time to get ready, everybody having sex, that's when I started fighting back. I remember
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
I remember they had a tray and on the tray there was a knife, it was a corkscrew, it was a glass bottle, it was a candle, and it was a cigar on the tray. And I remember all of them had to stick it in me. And I will never forget how Bill Cosby lit the cigar and put it out on my vagina.
So Bill Cosby was one of the people there?
Yes. I never came forward to his case or whatever, but you know, he had Jane Doe's, but that opened up all the old stuff that he been doing, you know? But I never came forward in that. Because my grandmother never took me, she never reported me missing, and she never took me to do a police report. And as I'm calling, getting help from these lawyers, it's like nobody can help me. And like I need help with a lawyer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I know that's me. Like I can provide pictures, not the picture that they have because they have the original. The police had the original copy of that picture of me. You know what I'm saying? They had the original copy of that picture of me. I don't have no picture. I got pictures of how I looked at that time. You know, that like you can see my shoulder and I'm still got the same frame, but I don't have those pictures anymore. I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, like, but my eyes were booked the whole time, and they put a blindfold on me. I remember them beating the fuck out of me. I remember them hog tying me. I remember I remember them all being mad at me because I put snake venom in everybody's drinks and shit, because everybody acting like they couldn't remember. But when this witchy lady, she gave me she was in a red room and the room had mirrors everywhere, and it was a yellow snake in the damn sink. She gave me the venom, and whatever she gave me, it made me still be numb, but whatever she gave me, it made me coherent. Like I was coherent to everything, but I still couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? And I put it in everything. And I remember Kris Jenner being mad about it. And I stabbed her in her left side of her shoulder, like right here. This is where I stabbed her right there. And no, it's not allegedly. It really happened. It really happened. And I hope by me going live and me telling some stuff that it don't help him get off. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying like, you know, I don't need to talk, but I don't have no lawyer. I don't have nobody to represent me. And if it was for the money, I would have been and took the money.
All right.
I would have been and took the money.
That's all right, sis. Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
He burned down this building to cover up all the evidence and some more people that was there. Yeah, that's the building he caught talking about, because he ended up doing some shit. He slipped, fell, hit his head, and I ended up pulling him out. I wanted to leave him in there, but the power of God told me to do it. And God told me to get him. And I wanted to let that nigga burn. I wanted to let that nigga die. I swear for God, I wanted to let him die. I can't tell you. I wanted to let him die. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. Yes, I was young, and yes, I pulled out a grown man out of a burning place. You hear me? And then I jotted for the woods, and I was lost in the woods. I died in the woods. God brought me back to life, and I just told God, just please kill me. I don't want to get away. I'm hungry. I was in the woods. I don't know how long I was in the woods until I made it to the barbed wire fence and beat me up. I was already beat up because before I made it to the woods, they beat that damn dildo inside of me. The dildo, he made Roger Bonds go by. He told that man go buy that dildo. They beat that dildo inside of me, and I don't know. I went to the highway. I made it through the barbed wire fence, and I'm like, damn, I thought I was in the jungle, because they kept telling me you're in the jungle, so I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I'm thinking I done ran away from Africa to America. That's what I'm thinking in my kid mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I wrote my police report. This is how the first police report is written. You know what I'm saying? And I get to the barbed wire fence. I almost get hit by cars because it's the barbed wire fence, and then it was the freeway. And I collapsed on these trash bags, and some white man, I think his name was Samson, he picked me up, and he drove me from Miami and took me back to New York. And when I came in there, I would beat the fuck up, and they was like, who did this to you? And they tried to get the white man. I said, he didn't do it for me. He didn't do that to me. He saved my life, and he didn't take me to the police station in Miami because I was telling him that it was like the sheriffs, the people worked for the Miami police place was doing that to me. And I was telling him, he told the police did this to me because the nigga was around police. He was around a lot of elite white people. I was like, the police did this to me. So he said that he drove me from Miami and he drove me to New York. And I remember them taking my statement. I remember I remember lying about my age on the first time I told them I was 17 because I was scared. I don't know. I lied. And I remember I wrote the first statement. I wrote it and I tried to cover up stuff. But then I told them I had to use the restroom. And they was like, no, you can't use the restroom. But before all this happened, they brought Mr. Williams in there because they was like, this is good. You're going to want to hear this. And he was like, who did this to you? And I was like, P. Diddy. And I named other people that I was around. And he was like, well, how old are you? Where your name? Where you from? I lied and I said I was Mexican. I used to say I was Mexican. I lied and stuff and said I was from Michigan. And like I just made up a whole bunch of different stories. And I ended up seizing out. And I told them I had to go to the restroom. They was like, no, you can't use no restroom until you finish writing. And I ended up writing everything out, which was the truth. And I ended up seizing out. And I remember them rushing me. I remember Mr. Williams was with me the whole time. I remember I was in pain, so my whole body hurt. So I didn't know the difference. They did operations to remove something out of me. I felt the same way I felt before they did the operation. I remember him showing me the video, and I'm like, that's not me. And it looked like they pulling the fucking intestines out of me. And it was that pink dildo shit all on it. And he was all, I was like, that's not, I was like, ew, what is that? I was horrified. And he was like, this is you. Who did this to you? And I went on and told him the truth. Diddy did this. I remember them having to sew me up and reconstruct my stuff down there. I didn't go straight home. He said, I can't send her home like this. He waited till that my big eye went down, but I didn't make it back home until October, November. I started the 7th grade, the second semester, and I started with my dad. I lived with him my second semester of school. I lived with my dad. I remember Mr. Williams being there with me, and like, he not gonna testify or be on my behalf, but I said I would never came forward if I never saw him on TV. You hear me? Because he is my angel. He is my angel. And God knows. God knows that man is my angel. And I'm not trying to be on here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're right.
I won't be on here looking crazy and crying and shit, looking ugly in the face. On here crying.
You went through some traumatic stuff, so that's normal.
Yeah. Everybody telling me not to speak will just let them reveal my face. And like I'm telling people around me, if I wanted the money, I would have been and took the money. Like they've been paying me money and I've been living like I'm broke. See that guy, see that guy, see that way. God, when he got in this situation, I have to get justice. Like if I don't think I see your way. I won't sue nobody else, but we gotta get justice. I just have to get justice. I have to. I don't want to be talking and doing this interview and help him. I just need justice and I need help. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
So Misha, yeah, definitely that part. Let's talk about those photos that's all over the internet. So basically that's you on the table with the food on you and they're eating off of you.
Yes.
How old were you in those photos?
I was 13. I didn't turn 14 till the end of that year. I don't turn, like, my birthday's in December. So like right now I'm 33, but when January after December I'm gonna be 34. Like I always turn the same age at the end of the year, and I don't know who has it. I don't know who. They got the video of me being when I was gone with the white men. They were doing weird shit to me, like they beating me. This woman flat out my hair, got me ready for this man named Joey, and they beating me. Got me strapped to a tree, and like I just feel like I'm being bullied because they putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Who would glorify this? This is nothing to glorify. And it's like everybody that's coming forth and they doing interviews. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me, and I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching people. Like I don't watch TV, listen to music no more because everybody that you listen to, it hurt me. You understand what I'm saying? And
so there were a lot of celebrities involved, and
even if he was telling them I was 17, I was still underage. The fake age that people told me to say, like I'm still underage. And this man had my mind gone because I was being abused at home, and I was thinking that this is how the world treats you. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is love. This you gotta do. He took my virginity. My mom was gone. I don't know. My mom was gone.
Now, peeps, that was part 1 of our shocking 1-hour interview with Misha, a victim of Diddy. If you know someone that's going through domestic, or if you yourself are going through domestic, help is just a phone call away. Thank you guys for watching part 1 of our interview. Stay tuned for part 2. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe for new updates.
I was told not to come forward because I was gonna get killed.
You were talking about the baby oil as well. At some point you kind of got hooked on what he was giving you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was hooked on it. It was to the point where if he didn't give it to me, like I was spazzing out for it. Like I was hooked on it. I remember doing a threesome with Kim Porter, and I remember him having us in the room, and I was telling her I was in love with him too.
What's up, peeps? Many of you have seen part 1 of my exclusive interview with Misha, a victim of Diddy, the viral young lady that was featured in all the pictures that's been circulated all over the internet. This is part 2 of the shocking exclusive interview.
Now, peeps, I sat down for the most exclusive interview of 2024. We've seen her pictures all over the internet with multiple celebrities eating food off of her body when she was just a preteen. We've seen her sitting in Diddy's lap in the studio when she was even younger. Now hear her story for the very first time. We've heard stories of her abuse by famed actress Jennifer Lopez. She details her abuse by Diddy and other Hollywood elites. She fought back tears as we sat down for her heartfelt story. Now this is definitely an interview that you don't want to miss.
The following content is the exclusive intellectual property of The Lionel B Show. We strongly forbid any reproductions or reaction videos for the following content. Any violations or videos found will receive a copyright strike for use of said videos.
Because after I got rescued the first time, I ended up running away back to him because when I told my grandmother the things he had me doing, like eating people and drinking blood, they just, every time I act bad, she just be like, oh, you should never ate that blood and ate them people, you know what I'm saying? Like taunting me. And being poor, I'd rather go back with these rich motherfuckers and let them do it to me than my family do it to me.
I know it's hard. I know it's tough.
These people did this stuff to me, and it's not allegedly. I would be going live and I would be speaking this. My childhood friends, they know what happened to me, but we're kids. Who the is gonna help us? You hear me? Like, who gonna help me? Me, the black girl. You hear me? Who's gonna help me when the world look at me as shit, scum? Cause I'm black, and I'm a woman at that. I'm lower than everything. You hear me? Like, who's gonna help me? And I don't know what my friends used to always tell me. Even when P. Diddy did something that got the house foreclosure where we were living and we had to move, they were mad saying it was all my fault.
So you said house in foreclosure. What house was that?
It went on foreclosure. We always lived on Section 8, but we lived in nice houses. And they was telling her that they was been trying to offer her $75,000 since then. They've been trying to offer her money, and she never took the money.
Your grandma, right? That's
yes. She never took the money, but we ended up moving to the other part of Garland, Texas, and he was popping up over there like he found me. Like, this shit was weird. It was weird. I went and lived with my daddy. I never seen him. When I was with my dad, I never seen him. When I came back home with my grandmother, she'd be like, go take out the trash. And this nigga in the front yard talking about his name is Antonio. And I'm like, P. Diddy? Antonio. Like, no. I was like, Antonio? He wanted me to say it the way he was saying it. Told me if I took off running, he was going to shoot me. And I remember Roger being there, and they had them guns with the sawed off parts. I remember Roger being there for that part. I remember them coming to pick me up from my house. I remember them buying my grandmother a Pontiac. She said it was a 2004, but you know, a Pontiac. I remember them buying her a car, and he was like, "Is she in the house? She is in the house. She in there?" And she like, "No, she not." But I remember my grandmother telling me to go get in the closet, and they gave her that car, and she was bragging to everybody about how she got a car with 0 miles. So I remember in 2012, while I'm speaking about this, I remember in 2012, when they was contacting me to come out there and see if I would have came out there, then they already told me they was gonna get R. Kelly first. They told me to come out there. You know, everybody's suing everybody so I can get my money, but I'm like, all that shit come with entities, come with dark entities, because they had me in that cult. They told me that they got my grandmother on video, and they told me that they got proof that because he bought me a house when I was young for me to stay, but I didn't want to stay with him. I didn't want to stay because, hell no, why would I be a damn fool? But he wanted me to stay, but I think he was just wanting me to write music. You know what I'm saying? Just using me for that. He said he was going to pop me out when I was 20, but I never stuck around to do anything because he had me doing illegal shit, had me in shootouts with him, had me snitching on people, and I'm high on that shit. Like, I don't have no control of me. I don't have no control.
You were talking about the baby oil as well. At some point, you kind of got hooked on what he was giving you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was hooked on it. It was to the point where if he didn't give it to me, like, I was spazzing out for it. Like, I was hooked on it. I was spazzing for it, like I was craving it. Like, when I had got pregnant, like, I remember Sarah telling him to keep me off of it so I can have that baby, because I kept losing the babies. And she was like, "If you better keep her off the drugs," because she said she wasn't doing another insemination where they take the eggs out of her and put it in me or whatever they did. She said she wasn't going through that pain again because it hurted so much. So,
And who's Sarah?
I don't know her name. I don't want to say it wrong, but that baby Chance Combs, that's my baby. Even if it's not my egg, I carried that baby in me. You know what I'm saying? Sarah Chapman, I don't know her name, but I remember her saying, "Look at her, she's ugly." Because I was in the bed, he had me high on that tranquilizer, and he was like, "She can't hear you," like, "She can hear us," and he was like, "No." She was all like, "I can't say that's my baby." She was with some other dude. I remember him doing an interview. He was all like, "Sarah had that baby. Sarah ain't even ain't never been pregnant." I was with her. Like, somebody did an interview and, like, you know what I'm saying, exposing her that she was never pregnant. She took my child for the lifestyle so she can live the lifestyle that she has. I remember doing a threesome with Kim Porter. And I remember him having us in the room, and I was telling her I was in love with him too. But at the time, he made me go by April. So while I'm on these airplanes and I'm flying, they got me as April Fuller. She knew me by April. I remember it was all the men's or whatever. I remember telling what's her name? Kimora Lee Simmons.
Yeah.
I remember telling her, like, it was like a ritual, whatever they did with me. I remember telling her, she was mad at me too. I remember telling her, like, all the men had sex with me. But I remember telling Kim everything that happened to me, and she was happy that she never went with him because he was trying to get her to go with him.
So Kim and Kimora knew everything that you was going through, and that you were underage as well.
Because I told her, and she was all like, "Oh my God," she started crying. It was too late. She was talking, and then, like, it was just crazy because he squirted that oil in her mouth, and then, like, she just kind of turned to a demon. Like, he had control over her ass. And I remember when we did the threesome, she strapped me down, but she was anal leak, so that shit hurted, and he had his in my mouth, and they making out. Yeah, it happened. It wasn't allegedly. It happened. I was there when she was pregnant with them twins. She had a white headband on it. We both pregnant at the same time. She had a white headband on her head, like, cause she was fighting him and stuff. He was telling her, cause he was having me in public, and she was the one to tell him, "You need to stop having her in public." And then that's when he started locking me in the tunnels and taking me to the Playboy Mansion or hide me at Bill Cosby house, but he'll move me through the tunnels, and the tunnels were in his room, and it was under the rug, but where his bed is on top of, but that's the entrance way to get in the tunnels. You know what I'm saying? I could describe the room I was in. I remember one of King Combs' friends coming to the house or whatever, and I remember him he thought it was a restroom, and then he came in there, and I was scared, and he was looking at me, and I was like, "Shh, don't say nothing." I pushed him out. Like, "Don't say nothing. Don't say you talk to me." Because every time I spoke to someone in the house I had no business speaking to, I got my ass beat. The day I gave birth, before that, I've been pregnant. I've been there 2003, that summer, 2004, 2005. I didn't make it back home to 2006.
Oh wow.
And I didn't even know I was gone that long. So I left in the 9th grade, and I came back. Everybody in the 11th grade. I'm still in the 9th grade.
Now you just to confirm, you were the one that had the D&G tank top on, correct?
Yes, I was. Dawn saw me in the studio. She saw me. I put her in the documents. She saw me. Everybody I named, they saw me. Cassie saw me. When Cassie was running, Cassie was mad because she had to watch him fuck me on some, and she ran off with that motherfucking money. And that's money in that duffel bag she was running with.
You talking about in the hotel where she's getting beat?
Yeah, that like it's old. Like she got beat. Like they just now putting the stuff out, but that's money that he keep in that duffel bag. She was trying to run with that money. I gave birth when he got me pregnant the very first time. He was trying to hide it from Kim, and I remember she was mad, hurt. I don't think she ended up moving out or being mad or something happened like that. And I remember he was mad at me, taking out on me, but he always had sex with me, but he never let me take baths. So everybody we have threesomes would be like, she stinks.
He also made you use the bathroom on yourself as well on stage, right?
Yeah, because we at this party. I'm not sure which party, because all these parties, when I think about it, everything is a blur, and it's like I'm on the stage, I'm dancing, everything like going fast. Like, have you ever seen a movie and everything like spinning? Okay, well, I was with another guy. Aretha Franklin gave me and this other guy that wanted to come on as a ghostwriter for Diddy. He gave both of us. She gave both of us. We thinking it's BCP powder because the nigga done gave us tranquilizer and the champagne, in the stuff. So me and him, we drink the coke, and she looking at us like, I ain't never seen nobody drinking before. And we looking like we thinking it's BCP powder, but it was cocaine. So after we ate it like BCP powder, we had to hit instantly, and I couldn't find no restroom, and I was like walking around. Every time I went in the restroom, it was like everybody's everywhere. I couldn't use it, so he found me, and I had to use it. I said, I gotta use the restroom. So I don't give a fuck about you. I have to use the restroom. Get on the stage, and he made me get on stage. I'm up there dancing and shit, and I could not hold it. It's not funny, but I was up there dancing, and I'm telling him I gotta use it. Please let me use it. And he's like, no, keep dancing. So I on everybody. And I'm up there just steady dancing, got my hands waving, everybody. I'm looking around, everybody looked at me disgusted. So I'm just still on the stage. He laughed. He put me in a room. Before he pulled me in that room, beat my ass, told me I ruined his party. I always got my ass whooped for ruining his parties. So at that point, he didn't let me come to the parties. I just had to come to the after parties type shit. I remember Denzel saying that you ain't got no respect for nobody, but I think some shit hit him and his wife.
Damn.
Like splurged on him. It sputtered on a lot of people, and everybody was looking at me like, this bitch stink. This bitch nasty. But nobody can help me.
That's deep right there.
Nobody helped me.
You also mentioned when you were on that table that somebody from New Edition was interacting with you as well. Who was that?
Michael Bivins. Like, they was like, I don't know what they had doing, but he had them like worshiping my body, and I was on the table, and he was like, I was scared because I'm still thinking about the first time when they did that. You remember I told you about the champagne bottles? I'm glad that happened when I was young, and I remember J-Lo was at that party. She had a baby blue dress, and I was like, I don't want to be around her. I was scared. I'm scared of her. Like, I was scared of her from how she did me when I was younger, all the stuff that she did. And I'm not going to just say everything that the lady did to me, but all the stuff that she did to me, I was scared of her. So I told.
One of the things she did was with the broken bottle, right?
Yeah. And he had me feeling like I was his girlfriend. So I would talk to her crazy. You know what I'm saying? Disrespect her. So when it came time for them, when rich people get together and they got money and they bored, they do some up shit. Like, they do real up shit. I remember seeing a white guy fucking a fish. It was just so much. That night, he was over me, and he was like saying something to whatever he was, and he was pouring the wax on me, and he was squeezing my nipples, like they were pinching my nipples, and I didn't move, but tears was rolling out my eyes. Like, it's a picture where my face is turned this way, and I know that I'm crying. They got a square on my face. I'm just yelling. I'm 13 in the picture. Like, I'm like, ee, on the picture. It's like that. I remember he snatched me off that table, put me in a dark room, and then I woke up again being anal, and it was like the whole party was fucking me. Like, when I come to, they looking at me like, when I look at certain celebrities, they looking at me like, oh, this eyes open, like I guess my eyes were closed, and then they end up putting a blindfold, so it was dark. But I saw a couple of celebrities, but before they put their blindfold on me, I looked over to Miss English, and I see her getting fucked, and she just laying there drooling like, I see her getting fucked. And
So both of y'all was out of it while they were taking advantage.
yeah,
of
and it was
y'all.
just us two.
You and Adria. You say English. You meet Adria. That's what you talking about. Right?
Yeah, I didn't want to say her name wrong because I've been calling her mom name, Adria. That's what I've been calling, but it's Adrian. How you say it?
Yeah. Hers is Adria. I think her mom is Adrian.
Yeah, Adria. I've been seeing her. She told me I call her Cherie Riri, but she used to go by Sasha. But Adria, she's laying on the table, and I see her having Guinness, and like it's the list when it's like 100 to 200 people. All the people had messed with us.
Wait a minute. So over 200 people slept with y'all in one
night. In one night. Yes, I was sore. Yes, I'm happy to have kids because they were sticking knives, and not that time, but other times. Like Allie Carter, she got me hip. She was telling me to make myself wet because it's like another part of the after party to the after party where the people in there and they're dressed up in their awards, like gowns and stuff and suits. And if they don't want to have sex with the kids, they got to do something to the kids. So one person shitted on the floor. It's like, I don't have nothing to wipe my ass with. Nasty bitch shitted on the floor, and like they'd be like, lick it.
What?
Rub it on your body. One person squirted on the floor. They know who the they is. One person squirted on the floor. I don't want to just bring out everybody's motherfucking name, but all this is gonna come out. One person squirted on the floor, and you have to lick it and you have to rub it on your body. And if they didn't want to do that, they get a stick, like a wooden stick, and it's like kind of round. Like, you know how the broom is, the wooden sticks that you get from the store, and either they beat you upside your head with it or they stick it in your pussy or your ass. And all this, it gave me a tilted. I had a normal cervix. All this stuff that happened to me in my life gave me a tilted cervix. Like my cervix tilted. Like, I'm happy I can still hold kids and have children, you know what I'm saying? But like people like Allie Carter, they fucked her up. She can't have kids.
So the people that was doing this to you, it was men and women, or just men? Men
and women and children. They had everybody. I remember Ray J was there. Everybody that's coming out like, yeah, I was there. I seen stuff. Yeah, all y'all better tell the motherfucking truth. Like people trying to save Diddy, and then they were saying 2012 everybody was coming to the club and like and talking to me, acting like they didn't know who the I was, and everybody know who the I was. You know,
the guy from that TV show. He was. Did he take part in that as well?
Which one?
The white guy. You ain't got to say his name, but he's a very famous white guy that was on a show from back in the day where one of the guys got arrested for something.
How he look?
He's married now, and his wife is an actress as well.
Yeah. He was there. He was there when the Brown babies kept getting out.
So he took part in all of that too.
Yeah, he was there. Hell yeah, he was there. He was there. Even they didn't off that other boy. They were trying to sick me on him. Aaron, the one that died. Yeah, he was there.
Now, you talked about as well Justin Bieber. Tell us a little bit about the Justin Bieber situation and what happened with that.
It goes in and out, but what I do remember is that he had a couple of the young celebrities anal fuck me. They all like ran a train on me or whatever. And then like the next day, I was like, they hurt me. Like I was telling him like they hurt me, and he was like, you want to hurt them back, don't you? And I was like, yeah, because P. Diddy claimed I was the first person to strap him down. and he'd be like, harder, harder. Like, he wanted me to pow. Like, it's like, I can't pow,
You
drown.
talking about, when you say strap, you mean like pegging?
Yeah, peg him. Yeah. So he put me on a thing, and like, he made me peg him. And then like, I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? And he made me do it. Like, do it. Slapped me like, do it. So shit, I just went hard because it's either me or you, nigga. You did it to me yesterday. I guess you take it today. All that happened. He had him doing all type of stuff.
Justin Bieber did something to you, so he made you do something back to Justin.
Yes.
So they, was he like restrained down on the ground, or like how did that?
It was like a little circle autumn. I remember him laying like that on the autumn. It was like a circle autumn. It was on. It happened on.
Ottoman type of thing.
Yeah. He was on that, and Diddy's talking shit while he recording, and he was like, "Oh, please stop! I'm sorry." He was yelling, "I'm sorry." I remember that, and I didn't want to do it no more. But Diddy slapped me and was like, "Keep going until you nut." And he used to make me peg people until I squirted. And he was like, "If you don't squirt, you keep going." I remember that it's not something, because like, that's not something to glorify. It's not something that I want to remember. Like, my dude, hopefully he don't leave me, because he never knew none of this stuff that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And
but this is his first time hearing everything.
Yeah. And when I was like, oh my God, that's me on his lap, but he don't want to hear no stories. You know what I'm saying? He mad I'm doing this interview right now. He don't want to hear no stories.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure most guys don't, just regular guys, they don't want to hear they girl.
You feel powerless.
So what made you decide to come forward and share your story?
When I saw Mr. Williams on TV saying, if you had anything to do with this, you got to come forward. But it's like, I've been trying to come forward, but I can't. I even called the FBI. I can't get nobody to take my case, because I've been drugged out my mind that I don't know the times and dates. The nigga never letting me know. So he did a good job with not letting me know what time it was or what day it was. You know what I'm saying? I can't regulate what day, what year. I just remember everything that happened to me. I remember the last year when I left. And it was because I didn't want to breastfeed that baby. And his mama came in there, his mama Amy, whatever you want to call her, she came up in there squeezing my breast like she used to do it like a cow. Like, I felt like they were milking me like a cow, and I slapped it over. And I remember her, "Oh, you done stop." And she instructed a big ass person to escort me outside, put me outside that gate. So I was outside with all the other groupies that be coming on that damn bus. They be trying to get up in there to get some money. She had me outside. I remember I was outside for a couple of days because I think Diddy was on tour. He gone or something, but I was trying to I remember knocking on the neighbor's door, and they was like, "Stop knocking on my door." Like, it's like nobody helped me in that situation. That was like a real traumatic time, and I really hated myself because I left behind my baby. Even if people would be like, "Well, that was a baby," and when I was taking that long walk, a homeless person gave me their sandals, like some thong sandals. A homeless person gave me some shoes.
Wow.
And I gotta see that way. It just might break me down, because I be dreaming about my baby. She was so beautiful when she was born, and I just dream about my baby. This the baby that haunts me in my sleep, and something was all like, "You just gonna leave her?" And I just felt so helpless. So when I got to the police, somebody picked me up, and he told me to say Roger Bonds gave me everything, which was Gene. And I tried to reach out to Gene, and I called him. He answered the phone, but he told me like I'm crazy, like he don't know who I am, or I never told him none of this stuff happened. But Gene gave me a whole bunch of paperwork with my pictures that I turned into the Vegas police. You know what I'm saying? They had the documents for Malcolm X, and they had all that shit. I told them I wasn't giving them nothing unless they called Mr. Williams from New York, the detective, to come get my stuff, because before he was that, he was something else, you know? Before he was a U.S. attorney, he was something else, but he was high ranking. But he told me, I told him I didn't want to give them nothing, and he was looking at me like, you went back? Like, bitch, you went back after they damn near killed you, and we done removed the dick out your ass? And I was like, I just had to get proof. They was trying to send me back to Garland, and I was like, I'm not going back to Garland. Like, I was like, I want my baby. I'm in there steady yelling about a motherfucking baby. So one of the police officers drove me back to Diddy's house. He had this Mohawk Diddy at the time. He had this big fur jacket on. And it had different. It was brown. It was black, but he had different prints in it. But I remember, like, on this side, it was like a cheetah print, like on like this part of him. Like, I remember the cheetah print or whatever. And I remember him coming outside, and he was all like, I was all like, my baby in there, and the mama had the baby. I said, see, she has the baby. And then he was all like, ma'am, this child is saying that the baby is yours. And he's sitting up there, he going hysterical. He's yelling with his mama because she put me out or whatever. And the mama was all like, she not the mother, she's the mother. So she went in the house, and Sarah came out, and she was like scared, like, I'm the mother of that child. And I said, she didn't have that baby. I just had a scar on my stomach. I said, I had that baby. Look at her stomach, it's flat. Look at my stomach. And then my stomach looked like I just had a baby. It was black. And I still got the C-section on my stomach, and I had my child normal. I got records to prove I only got one child, but I was cut open at P. Diddy's house. The police, and she told Sarah admitted at her mouth, I swear for God, I see that guy sneak up. He can strike me down. That lady admitted from her mouth, and she said, okay, I didn't have that baby. She had it. I don't want to get in trouble. Puppy started going crazy. The nigga opened up the bag. He was like, it's like $1 million, $500,000, baby. Here you go, man. He gave the man the money. And then he was like, just please come in, we can work this out. He was telling me to come back in, but I told the police I want my baby. He was like, you can have the baby, just come back in. So when he told me that, I was about to come back in. But when I turned back to the police officer and said, are you gonna come check on me tomorrow to make sure I'm alive, I'm okay? The man said no. And P. Diddy had this look on my face like, yeah, bitch, you know you done f***ed up. So I said, I'm not going in there. And then he was like, well, they was trying to, both the police and him was trying to convince me type shit to go back in the house.
Because at that point, Diddy already paid off
the money to the police. He pulled out that bottle. At this time, it's in a glass bottle. He kept it in like a glass bottle. He pulled that out. The bag like, man, she just want this. Give her this. This is what she want. This is what she really want.
What was in the bottle that he gave?
He said it's catamine and ecstasy, liquid ecstasy. And he was all like, it's against the law for you to be giving me this. Are you trying to bribe me? No, it's against the law. Like, he was like using police tactics on the nigga. And he was like, come on, man, baby. You killing me, man. You just took all the money I got. That's everything I got right there in that bag. Next thing I know, this damn police officer got me in the backseat, hot in the mother. I'm inside the mental hospital. I think the person that helped me out was Roseanne, the lady that was on the Roseanne show. That's her name?
Yeah, Roseanne Barr.
Yes. I was in there saying I'm really a child, and they just kept me on them they call them cocktail shots.
She was a patient in the
mental hospital.
Oh, damn.
She was a patient in the mental hospital, and she said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to get my lawyers to help you. And that's what helped me to get out. And they was like, what's your name? They kept shooting me up with that shit. So I'm like this, like slobbing with my mouth open. I'm slobbing with my mouth open the whole time. They take me to court, and like it would be like the FBI, the real people, and then somebody else come in there and they shooting me with it. Like they could have killed me. You know what I'm saying? And I remember them arresting a lawyer that I was with or somebody, because I ended up saying my social security number. Like, no, my social security number is this. And and I remember Mark, his lawyer he has now, the Mr. I don't know what do you do with $1,000 of, I don't know what he doing with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't know. him, he came in and signed the paper to where the paper was fictional to where I seemed like I signed it to where I'm 17. And he had me sign the paper. He had me sign the paper saying that I couldn't talk about the baby. I couldn't talk about anything I experienced. And they put a spit bag on my head. They took me I got transferred to Garland Police Station. My grandmother had to pick me up from the police station. And I remember Mark shooting me with something in my neck. Like, he crooked. He will kill for that nigga. The nigga called me in 2012 telling me that he got my videos of me auditioning. He got them hoes put up in a safe. I was told not to come forward because I was going to get killed. I remember Roger Bonds calling me in 2012 telling me, your best bet is not to go out there because they are planning on killing you. So I never went to New York. And that judge lady, it was a female judge on the case at the time. She was calling me too. And like, it was to the point where they saying that the mob was going to look out for me. And it was the same guy that called Courtney called me and was like, all the bank people are here and you can come live here. And he was like, if they send you food, don't eat it. And I think I gave that box to the woman downstairs and she ended up catching ammonia. She ended up catching a cold. Like, I didn't eat it. I was like, I don't want that. The woman was like, I'll take it. She took that down. They sent me a box with stuff up in it. And I was like, I was like, hell no. But I think she ended up catching a cold. I think I got ammonia. So they like, you know what I'm saying? They were coming to the club. I remember Jaguar Wright them coming up to the club. I remember Homie G and all of them coming up to the club. And they was all like, did I snitch? Basically, I'm a snitch. I got to stand up behind what the fuck I said. Everybody telling me to come testify. It was one. I remember one incident that happened to me. The group Jada Kiss. I don't know which men are. Jada Kiss. That's the rapper. But what was his group name?
The Locks.
Yeah, one of the guys in there, P. Diddy, had me, because he used me as an escort. P. Diddy had me give him a champagne bottle, and P. Diddy had me strap him down. And I remember being jumped by them niggas. I remember them niggas jumping me with some girls. Beat the shit out of me. I never forget that ass whooping. I never forget that ass whooping.
Wait, so the Locks jumped you? The rappers, the Locks?
Yeah. Hit me like I'm a grown man. Beat the out my ass. I'll never forget that shit. I ain't gonna never forget it.
All right, you guys. Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 3.
Navan is a business travel booking platform that slashes your travel costs. With Navan, employees book their own trips, while customizable policies guard your budget. They're also incentivized to book responsibly and get personal travel credits that are 100% funded by Navan. So, why book elsewhere? Request your Navan demo today.